Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, folks. Depending where you're at, folks, it's your man, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, I just, as you know, I was here earlier. I did live with the lovely Dr. Taylor Bliss. Taylor is a IFB Wellness Pro. She turned pro back in 2024. Shout out to her. I appreciate the time she gave me for the interview earlier this afternoon, and I want to shout out. So, folks, our discussion is, I'm a fan of women's bodybuilding. I'm a fan of that division. It's a division that's really has been around for a long time. It's the oldest women's division. It's the architect division that started it all. But we having a problem, and the problem that's continuously happened, where the end of last year, the promoters are starting to drop it off. For one, first off, was New York Pro, which a few years ago did drop off the division and then brought it back. Now it's dropped it off again. Then there's a show, the Vancouver Isle show, which was one of the first few shows next to the Triple O, which had women's bodybuilding, physique, and wellness. And then they dropped it off. And our last live stream, we were talking about how we saw the news that women's bodybuilding was dropped from Tim Gardner's shows. That's both Chicago and both the Tampa Bay Pro. And also the Return of Puerto Rico Pro was one of the shows that was back in the day, but it was just for the Masters. So now again, there's some reboots. Some things happen. And we're going to talk about that. And also some situations going on really that try to help women's bodybuilding. And again, ladies, why waste my time fighting for you when you're not fighting for yourself? But we have here one of my favorite guests in the world, my sister from another. And she's here to share her thoughts. She's the co-owner of Bad Rap. She's the lovely Mrs. Eunice Martinez Kitchens here. How you go, Eunice?
George, good to be here.
Yes.
Thanks for the invite.
You're always welcome. In about another, I think, 10 weeks, Eunice is going to be at the Triple O Pro, and she's going to be helping to promote her company and also sponsoring some jackets. And also, I'm one of the sponsors. Me and also my man David from the Female Bodybuilding Forum. David was going to be here too, but he has some stuff to happen. But it was just you and me, and Eunice. I usually don't like to be with an unaccompanied married woman alone, but okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, George, we're looking forward to the Triple O Dynasty. We're actually going to be trophy sponsors, so we're doing more than just donating our jackets. We're hoping that we're not sure how. I haven't actually don't know how the money is going to be used or anything, but they're handling that part. We just hope the show, will continue on beyond this year because we need women bodybuilders to step up and show up, because that's the biggest, what we see is happening. The problem is the lack of competitors showing up on stage that keep the promoters wanting to include this division in their shows. And so if the women are not showing up for shows, then how come the promoters should be trying to, extend, their funding? I mean, they could use it in other divisions that actually show up. So, that's the bottom line is women have got to step up and show up for every show, and they have to coordinate, and it's going to be creative scheduling that they have to do in order to fill these spots for every show that is going to be offering women's bodybuilding. I personally think consolidation is always a great start, because that does it limits your options and it forces you to pick. And the way I see it is we can always grow into another show, but we've got to prove that they want to keep this division. And so we've got to prove that that they can show up and that they can work together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has to be, everybody has to play their part in this situation. Everybody has to be able to make an appearance. If you feel like this show maybe is too soon for you, there's other shows down the line. As you know, Triple O is the first show for women's bodybuilding to start off the year. It used to be the next one after that was the Van Isle show, but now that's gone. And the next show after that was the New York Pro. And after that, you have a couple of shows. You have the Toronto Super Show. Also, there's a show in Spain. But for a lot of competitors who don't want to travel overseas, the numbers is far distance. Now, as I said earlier, Tim Gardner brought back women's bodybuilding to the Tampa. This happened last year. And he made an announcement he was dropping it. And then the one person come in, and two people actually, is Alina Popa. And anytime I say it, I got to do it. Yo, Jake! Yo, Jake! I want that money. I want that gun. Jake Wood, he came in. And again, I believe he did it again. But here's the thing is, one of my favorite TV shows I used to watch was a Japanese animated show called Full Metal Alchemist. And there's a rule of alchemy called the equivalent exchange. Or to obtain something of equal or lesser value must be lost. For the return for women's bodybuilding for both Puerto Rico and Tampa, we lost a show, and that is the Titans Grand Prix. And this year was going to do Masters and Open. So that's a show we lost. But, in exchange for that, I believe the same promoter who posts that show is also working with Natalia Coelho to bring women's bodybuilding to the show in Brazil. But again, ladies, this is up to you. Now, one person is doing something, and I had the pleasure of having her as my guest a couple of times. She's only been a pro for a short time. I didn't get to meet her. I saw her in Tampa. I didn't get to talk to her. I wish I had an opportunity to. I know she was busy, and that is Anastasia Ryder. And she stepped up. As you know, she posted this early last week, and she posted a GoFundMe. And this GoFundMe is dedicated to, as she posted right here. By now, the fans of Women Bodybuilding have heard the news about the 5 IFBB pro shows have pulled WB divisions from their competitive lineups. Masters Puerto Rico, Chicago, Tampa Pro, French. I don't count those natural shows because come on, natural female bodybuilders, women bodybuilders, come on. It's all this be like physique competitors, so I don't count them. So I put them out of the game. And he started GoFundMe, and the GoFundMe when it was originally started was at $286. Now I dropped a donation, this morning because I got my check, and I dropped a donation. Now the GoFundMe is over $6,000. Now, there's some people that already raised, she's raised nearly over half of what it is supposed to be. The goal was originally here was 20. She dropped down to 12. She raised just barely in a week's time over $6,000. And that's good. I mean, it's a start, but is it enough?
Oh, are you asking me that?
That's what I'm saying. I'm asking you your thought of it.
Yeah. Well, right now it's dire straits in saving, a show. And we all know that Tim Gardner puts on, extravaganzas. And so it's one of the shows that as competitors that have competed in his shows, we definitely hate to see it go because those shows are shows that we have seen throughout the years that have driven us. They have been dream come trues for us to turn pro. And it's like our dream was to just make it on stage to the Tampa Pro or make it on stage to the New York Pro or the Chicago Pro. So, that's the reputation that his shows, they're world renowned. They're shows that draw the best athletes in the world. And that's how come, this group is definitely fighting to see it come back. So the GoFundMe is an emergency to me. It's a reactive type of response. Is it going to be something that's, forever? I don't think so. I think as a group, they're trying to figure out how they can fund themselves, how they can try to promote themselves and change this. this was brought on sort of pretty quick. And so the group probably didn't have time to, again, figure out, okay, let's all kind of stagger shows and let's all show up. Most of the bodybuilders that I hear are going to compete. What I hear is late shows. And so, that's where there needs to be roll call and get some girls to show up early. There's still 9 weeks left. There's a lot of girls that just turned pro in December, and some that were in great condition in November, and maybe they can swing it to be able to step on stage early this spring.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I hope so, because we can use it. This is one lady I recently, she just turned pro also at Nationals, which was just about a few weeks ago. That's Kelly Larkins, and she has posted that she's going to make her pro debut at the Atlanta Pro, which is a Linda Murray promotion show, and that's one person I think we should focus on. Like, get away from the Tim Gardners and the Steve Weinbergers. Go to women like Linda Murray, who's been fighting for women's bodybuilding for a long time, for female bodybuilding in general. Go to someone like the Andrea and what City doing with the Triple O. Also, only reason why Corey didn't have it this year because of the cost of paying for the pros. If you reach out to someone like him, who was one of the few promoters to have featured women's bodybuilding in his show, physique and wellness. That I know. I just interviewed a young lady, said she would love to make that her debut as a pro, but again, circumstances happen because of the cost of money. This is something I saw, and somebody sent this to me. Shout out to one of my little birdies. This is from Beyond the Stage. Beyond the Stage does a lot of content on the bodybuilding world, and this is from I sent it to Eunice, and we were trying to find where was the I think it was from a podcast. We don't know where it was specifically. We're trying to find it, get some history. But this guy, he was talking about women's bodybuilding.
To take on the undertaking of starting the GoFundMe, promoting it, doing their thing. Now, if you're a women's bodybuilding person and you have $20,000 or you have a GoFundMe, talk to Tyler Mannion, say, I want to put on a women's bodybuilding show and pay the sanction fee and put on the show yourself. And then you can go get a venue somewhere and you can get a sanction fee and you can pay for the show yourself and get all the ticket money that comes in. But they don't want to take the risk. They want to do a women's bodybuilding show, but they want to attach it to another show. If you really want to have a women's bodybuilding show, you could just go pay the sanction fee and have your women's bodybuilding show. But you're scared that maybe nobody will show up. This is the problem with women's bodybuilding. It's just not popular anymore.
And that's somewhat the truth, because not enough women, or even when you have competitors, we have the issue of some women not even stepping up. Some women is using the famous excuse. Like I remember when I did an interview with Michelle Brent, how she said, stop waiting till like the mid of the year. You can go ahead. If this show's out the first of the year, go ahead and get them out of the way. Like something like Triple O in the Vancouver, get them out of the way. If you feel like, hey, you don't have to, wait and enjoy the holiday, Christmas, and skip your prep, jump into it. And again, it's up to those competitors. We have here some people coming through here. Shout out to my man, DJ Jeff. He says, hey, George, I'm eating dinner right now. I appreciate that. Also, he says, also, YouTube is a great resource to see bodybuilders for me. Yeah, because, that's a lot of ladies. And I think more ladies should try to be on YouTube. Shout out here to my man, KL, the Watery says, good afternoon. Say good afternoon to you, brother. Appreciate you coming through. And also, the thing is that, yeah, I would say, if you can if you get enough ladies together, at least, what's the sanction fees if you're going to do a show?
$12,000.
Okay, $12,000. Okay.
And then your prize money.
Prize money, so maybe another, let's say,
well, another 3,500 for usually it's 30. Well, it's 2,500 for the first place, and then it's 1,000, and then 500 for third at most shows.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Last year what we did in Tampa is bad rap. Added additional 1,000 to the the winners. So instead of 2,500, it was 3,500 for the pro and the figure. We did that for San Antonio as well. So we're trying to, from the profits of our sales, we're trying to also help promoters come up with prize money. And it's not a lot of prize money, but we all know that we do this for the love of the sport, not because we're looking for compensation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a lot of you ladies, I remember some ladies told me that this is not a sport where you make a living off of. If you're the lucky few, like you have Andrea or some of the ladies who compete, or level competitors who do get sponsorship, who have people that can pay for the cost of trips and stuff like that. But I would say, if y'all ladies really want to do that, find the people who are willing to put up the money. You don't have to put the names out there. They can be anonymous donors. You can, if you can cover the sanction fee, that's $12,000, and maybe another $30 or $40, $50 for venues like that. And then also, if you get someone put, like I said, instead of just being like 12, like 2,500, let's shoot for, if you can get somebody to put up at least enough to cover, or maybe a good prize money, like about, let's say $600 or $700,000 for first place, another $5,000 for a second, and $3 or $4 for third, and then and also the little special like best poser, most muscular, something like that. Those little things that help out, and then really have advertise yourself. Just like anything, you have to go out there, put people out there, put somebody. Hey, we're having this show here and there. We want you to come. Go to your local media outlet, like local news station. Go campaign here and there. You really have to really put yourself out there as it's like a business. And I think business people go by what they see when it comes to a business. We got here, shout out to my man here, C. Cross. He says this. He says, we got the Tampa Pro back in women's bodybuilding. That's some progress. Yeah, plus Puerto Rico for masters, Also, shout out to my man here, KL says, Eunice, you think in the future Bad Rep could have a women's bodybuilding show?
That's my dream. That's my goal. Jojo and I are, trying to move this brand beyond where we can be, either sponsors or maybe even hold our own show. Who knows? I always think big. And when you think big and dream big, your scene appears bigger. And so everything that I have ever wanted has always come to fruition. So, I welcome my dreams. I allow all of the, it will happen with time. Yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? That's the thing, it's going to take time. Women's bodybuilding wasn't that long ago when they were kicked out of shows like the Arnold Classic. Promoters started kicking it out. Like, originally, remember a few years ago that New York Pro kicked out the first time, but then brought it back in 2020. And now it's kicked out again from that show. Arnold doesn't have it. They still, but here's the thing about the fun about the Arnold Amateurs does have the women's bodybuilding. They just added to about a few years ago, but the problem is, just like for the pro shows, need more women to come and to compete. And especially after show like the Nationals, ladies if you didn't get your pro card Nationals and you want to do a show, Arnold is just another 6 weeks away. We should have had a plan. So you know what? I didn't get, if you knew that they have women's bodybuilding or women's physique at the Arnold, your plan should be, you know what? There's another show right after this one. Let me just let's skip the big old, Christmas dinner. Let me just go ahead. I'm still in good shape. Let me take a little rest, go on my prep, and shoot for that show. And that's why we need more women to show up at these shows. One thing is the rule is that if there's 5 or more women and enough to make up a full class, the winner of that class gets their pro card. There's a show, the Miss International, which is still part of the not part of the Chicago Pro, where Jake Wood promotes that, and the competitors there. All you got to do is win in your class, get your pro card. Last year was 3 ladies, and one lady won a pro card, and she made her pro debut at Chicago because they give you that opportunity to do that. Also, shows like the Amateur Olympia, shows like the Romania Muscle Fest has also a pro qualifier. The Nationals, this year's Nationals was great. We had like at least counting, we had 2 classes. We had light heavyweight and heavyweight. But the problem with that, they only give you 1 pro card in each class. And so again, Kelly Larkins won her pro card that show. She did the overall, but she didn't win that. The lady who won that overall, I think she might be making her pro debut. I don't know if it's this year, or maybe she might make it next year.
Yeah, that was what was her name from Las Vegas? Was she? Is she?
It's
Chelsea
Taylor
Dion's. Yeah, she's Taylor, right?
Yeah, Taylor Schmuck.
Yeah, Taylor. Yeah.
We have here a comment from my man C. Cross. He says, Arnold has a problem with muscular women. That's the problem line. He's insecure that he don't have his muscular physique no more. He's got a dad's bod. Well, like I said, okay. You got to think about it. Arnold's now almost 80. Most of those guys can't maintain that same look. He's not Conan, anymore. But again, that's his show. He do what he want. He can give out nearly over $500,000 to the winner in the men's class, but still the women that's still there, like fitness, wellness, bikini, and now fit models still get pennies. I mean, and a fun thing about his show, you don't have to pay for the live stream. He does it free. So that's one thing. Would that help if you okay? But then you got to make money. But how does he make? I mean, how is he doing it? Is it mostly from advertisement, you think?
Okay, tell me again, who's making money?
Well, he doesn't, Arnold, he doesn't do, his live streams are not paid for the Arnold Classic. It's free.
It's free. It's got to be advertisement. It's got to be, the festival. There's no telling what the booths cost, because we know that the Olympia booths are $4,500. That's where they start. Okay. Yeah. So that's how come, it takes a big brand to be there. And his show has been going on, a long time. And I think his expos are even, what I hear, bigger and better than the Olympia. So I'm not sure what the booth space is at the Arnold. So it usually takes a company that can, either take the loss or is that well known that they know that they're going to make back that $4,500 easily, and plus more. You got companies like Gasp, you got companies like Iron Rebel and Hostel and those, Better Bodies, and those are the leading companies that show up to those big shows. And so when you have a company like ours is just getting, started, that's a pretty big, heavy, booth space cost. And it's pretty risky because that your brand doesn't have that it's not seen as much as Better Bodies. So this is where it's been for us. It's been a challenge, but we're getting it out there. And we hope that with now the circumstances in women's bodybuilders, that we'll have all females, behind us, because that's all we've all, our goal, our mission since 2023 was to help increase participation. And so we've even, we started at the amateur level where we got some that where we, paid for posing sessions with like Hella Trevino, so that they could it would inspire them to get on the amateur stage, as well as like Roxy. We scouted her 2 years ago and started to court her, and I kept in touch with her, and it's like, when you get ready to get on stage, you let me know, because we'd love to sponsor you. And so that's what we did. And of course, she got her pro card. We had her step on stage with women's bodybuilding and women's physique, because we've got to count as a body. We've got to have at least 5 people there for a pro card. And so even though her physique may have not been, we didn't quite know where her physique was, whether she was women's physique or women's bodybuilding. It's like, let's do both. So we encouraged her to do both. And so we sponsored her for that show. And of course, she turned pro, and her goal is to, she wants to be a bodybuilder. So her goal is, I'm going to work on my size, and I'm coming back as a women's bodybuilder. So there you go. We've got to start them at amateur level, because that is the foundation. And, I think it'd be great if some of these pros would court some of these amateurs and speed up the process. If they could give them, hey, look, this is the list of coaches that we would recommend for you. If, if they could suggest these are the types of, things to stay away from, or things, just mistakes that people made over the years, so that you can speed up the process and make it more efficient for them to get on stage sooner than to stumble around like we had to do back in the day, where it was just a hit and miss and, bro science. I mean, now there's so much available out there that it took me 8 years to get up on stage as an amateur. My very first show, it took me 8 years in training to be able to get up on stage. In today's time, probably half of that, and somebody could be on stage as a women's bodybuilder.
Here, this is our man, our Merlin of women's bodybuilding. Shout out to my man Jeremy from the Art of Female Muscle. He's coming through.
Hey, Jeremy.
Hi, how's it going?
Welcome, brother. Got it. Thought, yeah.
What was that?
George is cutting out.
I guess he is. Yeah.
He's in slow motion.
Hey, Jeremy.
George, you're in slow motion.
Hey, y'all. Let me do this. Y'all keep talking. I'm gonna put myself out. But I come back.
Okay.
Y'all keep talking. Go ahead.
How are you doing?
Yeah, y'all keep talking. I come back. Maybe there's something going on.
Oh, I'm doing great. But just was able to get out of the gym for a few minutes and come out here and get on this podcast. And I'll have to go back.
Oh, yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I've been convalescing all day because I banged my head yesterday, so I'm at home from work today, so I'm doing better.
Oh no, what happened?
Oh, I just tripped.
Oh
banged
no,
my head
Jeremy.
on something. So I had a smashing headache this morning, but I'm doing better today. So we're back at it tomorrow. So what's been the subject so far?
So far the subject's just been the women's bodybuilding division, the dire straits that it's in, and what are some of the solutions.
Yeah, wish I could say that I didn't see it coming. But,
yeah, and
it's there.
Yeah.
But I mean, they are doing something that I've been saying on this podcast is there's some people at least are starting to put their money where their mouths are. You've got Anastasia Ryder's GoFundMe that's for I think it's going to be for Chicago and Tampa Pro. Have you guys talked about Kelly Larkins and
Actually,
her new project?
We're about to. Kelly reached out to me too, and so we're trying to collaborate on how we can be a part of that. That documentary. So I think that's really super impressive as far as the work and the thought behind that documentary that she's putting together. It's called Behind the Physique Bodybuilding.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to see how that goes too. She started a GoFundMe for that as well.
Oh, is that right?
So yeah, I posted that on the link in my IG so that people wanted to contribute to that too. Since she's starting that up, but it's good to see that people are putting their money where their mouths are. Because I saw that Anastasia's GoFundMe is now half to its goal, and again, it's like that's half the battle is getting the show there. The next step is you got to go.
Exactly, and that's just like I was telling George. This is sort of like knee-jerk reaction as far as like the GoFundMe's. You know, the group has to get together and figure out a way that we can contribute in a manner where we're self-supportive.
Right.
And
Exactly.
so coming up with ideas like Kelly's, coming up with websites, coming up with, you know, different type of technology that these girls are very smart and they're young. And so they are techie savvy. And that's all it's going to take. It's going to take them exposing, you know, as far as getting out there. In order to get mainstream and to get fans, they're going to have to get out there beyond the gym scene.
Exactly. Exactly right.
You know, I've suggested, you know, get out of the gym scene. Let's get a group together. Let's go to different type of events where there's a lot of women. You know, I took my mother to a musical back in July, and it was the Lion King musical. And I was probably 3 weeks away from the Tampa Pro, so I was in pretty good shape, and I had a you know, very fitting outfit on, and so I can't tell you how many women came up to me and complimented me on my physique. And so that's what needs to happen. That was, you know, a good way of me putting myself in an event in which I was not in the gym, but I was seen. And I really think that the women have to, you know, do more of this. Volunteer at a young girls' events. That's how you're going to pique interest, and that's how you're going to be impacting the future generations.
Right. They have to get out of the gym and they got to get in the street. That was why I keep mentioning this girl in France. Her name's Sarah Hodes Salbo. I'm trying to remember. I'm probably butchering the name, but that's what she does. She just goes out to well-traveled thoroughfares with her little box that says bodybuilding is art, and
Yeah.
she'll go there and she'll pose.
Yeah.
And she'll pose for like 30 minutes, half an hour, something like that. And I look at that and it's like, I wonder what the impact would be if more female bodybuilders did just that. They devoted some of their part of their time just to go out and do something in that way, and like you said, in the public sector.
Yeah.
Not just strictly in the bodybuilding community, but to get out there in the general public. And I'm surprised that show promoters don't do something like that, or at least doesn't seem like they do something like that in order to promote the shows.
Right.
But what better way to get attention than to have a bodybuilder who is absolutely ripped and contest ready, get out there and then just pose for like an hour and then use that as an opportunity to say, hey, you want to see more of this? Hand out flyers.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, something like that can even draw a crowd. So
yeah, but the problem is that the mindset of it, they think like maybe people might have an issue with it, but people are like, hey, that's weird. But the thing is, you're going to have those people that are curious. They're like, say, what is this about? And just looking and just checking it out. We have here my man Johnson, since he just popped in.
How's it going, Empire Nation?
Yeah,
Hey, how's it going, Josh?
Doing good.
Yeah, this goes back to also we talked about Anastasia earlier, and Anastasia did this while somebody shared this with me also. She did an interview for a local news network in Florida, and that's something like we've seen Sherry done it, we've seen Natalia Quayle done it, and you've seen Linda Murray done it, and I think
you've seen Teresa Ivanchik as well. Yeah.
And I think that's one thing. I think some people go approach these news networks like your local one. You don't have to be the big like ESPN or something like that, but just just the locals that would probably help, promote, the show. So here she is, and she's getting a little interview. We're gonna check it out. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's taking some time as always. But folks, while we're waiting for it to start up, but yeah, you have to really present yourself and don't be afraid of what people think or say. That's the problem. That's the thing that we worry about what people thought. You got to be more vocal and more out in the public.
Yeah, just get yourself out there. Go.
We also got to just wake up to the simple fact that life is a combination of positive and negative. I mean, negative is going to come.
Turning to the community. Group of women athletes is turning to the community for
He's still
help after they were suddenly shut out of an upcoming fitness competition.
Where it is? Give a second.
Anastasia Ryder is among the athletes who plan to compete at the Tampa Pro this summer, but this week they learned the women's bodybuilding categories were dropped from the show. Event organizers say the female division was cut due to a lack of sponsors. Well, now the women are working to raise the funds themselves in hopes of keeping their competition alive.
Most of us have been training for a very, very long time, and we look forward to these shows every year. This was finally a place where we were able to find our home, to find our people, to be a part of something that felt like we belonged and were represented the way we wanted to be. And now to have that taken away from us, it's like, okay, where do we go from here?
A group has started a GoFundMe page to help save their sport. If you'd like to help them out, you can find a link in this story at WFLA.com.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
I donated a bit because I have to wait. My check dropped to the first of the month, and it dropped this morning. We have here is another guest. A man we hadn't seen in a long time. My man here, Raheem Hamilton, coming through.
Raheem, how's it going?
What's going on, everybody? How's it going?
Hey, Raheem, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I was just listening to the topic at hand, and I've been saying this 1,000 times since I've been on the show. The only way this sport is going to survive is you got to have a person. You got to have a bodybuilder who has a personality, charisma, and on top of that, you also got podcasts. Podcasts is like, sorry about that, I'm outside, so bear with me. So podcasting is the wave of the future. They have to be seen on podcasts. That's just local news. They got to get out there. If see, the thing is this too. The biggest opportunity you had is 2019, 2018, where Danny Garcia was entering bodybuilding, and she's a fan of it. This is where the female should have linked up to her, because she's part of, $7 Studio, Dwayne Johnson's ex-wife. She could have, y'all should reach out to her. See what she could do if she's interested in supporting the field. Because at the end of the day, if this sport is going to die, because I said it again, I said it 1,000 times, you don't have athletes who have personality. They don't want to be in front of the camera. You can't promote, you can't beg people to support your sport if they don't know what is going on. People actually don't know that female bodybuilding exists. You have to be in front of the camera. You have to be out on the front. This is what you do. Podcast, do some movies, sometimes you gotta be kind of make fun of yourself as a sport, do comedy, do what you gotta do to get noticed. But if you're not gonna do anything, no one's gonna notice you, and then guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna be out here, disappear, asking for money again. This is gonna be 2014 all over again. I've been saying this again. You got someone who is your champion. But as a champion, you're supposed to be an ambassador. That means you go out to the communities, you go all the local station, podcasts, everything to promote your sport. You don't just win and just go home and say, I'll wait till next year. That's just the reason why the sport is dying. You can't do that. You have to be proactive. This is what's needed. This is the key of it. If you're saying that bodybuilding is a sport, you have to reintroduce this sport back to the general public. Because again, they think it's a pageantry. Doesn't matter if it's male or female. They thinking this is a pageantry. All you do is on stage and pose in trunks and swimsuit. How is this a sport? You got to re-teach the public that this is a sport. By doing that is going to podcasts, television, hell, sometimes just doing movies. You could just get yourself in movies and everything. So this is what you got to do. Because you can do a GoFundMe. Okay, cool. You raise that type of money. Then what if next year is the same situation? What are you going to do? See, you gotta stop. You gotta if this sport's gonna survive, you gotta think you gotta think like all these sports business do. You gotta think like a business person. Just
Yeah,
not, it's not just it's just not just, social media, but it's also the old tools, television, radio. You gotta get yourself out there. If you don't get yourself out there,
Exactly.
no one's gonna know.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the WWE. You got to have good promo skills. You got to have good charisma, so people can see you. You got to do like gym tours or whatever.
I think I'm just gonna say this one thing. I feel like this. Truth be told, I think they should change about the Miss Olympia. Since we focus on Miss Olympia, since we focus on female bodybuilding, I think the winner should be the one who has a great personality. It should be because everybody come in great condition. Let's see, like if you get a female that can not scare the mic and she talks good and she got great charisma and she'll go to all these podcast shows and do what she has to do to promote the business. You should just like, okay, this person got charisma. I'm gonna go for her. Yeah, I know Andrea Shaw looks great, but she's not out there. This one right here that came to second, she's not scared of the camera. She will promote this she'll promote the sport and everything. She'll do what we need to do. Like she'll go from the podcast, radio, she'll do movies just to keep the female bodybuilder out here. So I think that should be one of the things they should also crown for Miss Olympia as well. You have good charisma. I think that should be one of the top things they should do as well.
That's the thing. The problem is they're not gonna go that way. They go by like good example of this. Irish Cow was not the very more pleasing looking woman, but she had a great physique and she was dominant. One thing was it didn't promote her enough, and she's a businesswoman in mindset. That's why she was doing shows like Miss International and the Olympia. She had to make her money because what was back then was $25,000 for top prize for the winner, and that's not much. Even back then. And again, Andrea, she's doing something. She has Triple O Dynasty along with Sydney. She's talking to people. She's doing seminars. She's doing a lot of stuff. But the thing is, she needs somebody who can help her with the other part about getting to the public, because some of these bodybuilders are not very.
But it's like what your guest Bad Rap said. She's just doing it around the people who go to the gyms. Is she doing it is she doing seminars for people who are not into body? This is what I'm trying to say. When I say this, I'm not knocking her. I'm just saying it's just you gotta be out there and talk to not just people who are in bodybuilding or into the fitness. You gotta go out there to talk to people who are not, to introduce them into it. Because one day I know everybody like to hate on Arnold, but when Arnold was doing his fitness stuff, he was introducing people who never went into a gym. He went out there, did seminars to people who this is the first time introducing to bodybuilding or to fitness. You get what I'm saying? That's a huge difference. So now he had people who loved him who weren't even bodybuilders or gym rats, and then he had the gym world community that loved him. You get what I'm saying? So the question is, okay, she's doing the seminars, but are the seminars for people who are just getting introduced to it, or is it people who are still there? That's a huge question. If it's just the people who are just there, then how she expanding the sport?
Yeah, a good example of that would be Teresa Vancic. She during the pandemic, she was invited as a speaker at a couple of community colleges dealing with the subject of entrepreneurship, since she's a gym owner, and she's invited to be a guest for that, and I thought that was a wonderful opportunity, because here she is speaking not to a bodybuilding group necessarily, but to a group of young people, introducing them to bodybuilding, introducing them to gym coach, say, hey, I'm a gym owner. Here's what I had to do in order to be able to start a gym, to approach it from the business aspect. But even that can be an inroad to get to exposing people to female bodybuilding and get more people potentially interested in it. But it's exactly like you say, Eunice. They got to get out in public. You can't just go into your comfort zone. They got to get, to use a phrase that's popular in bodybuilding, they got to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Well, Jeremy, in my community, I live in a rural part of East Texas, and I've always been a pariah since I landed in Crockett, Texas in 1989. Back in 1989, I was 25 years old. Actually, when I landed in Crockett, I was probably 24 22 years old. And I was at the peak of my bodybuilding. I was already a national level competitor. And I was different. But I was always helping high school career days. And so that was something that I had an opportunity to inspire a lot of young girls because, you know, who says that you can't be successful being a gym owner? Who says you can't be successful in the fitness business? You know, back when I started, people would laugh about I wanted to own a gym. Of course, I was also a nutritionist for the University of Texas. That was my full-time job. But on the side, I had the gym, and I loved personal training. And so I was able to bring a lot of girls, young girls, into the gym simply because I put myself outside the gym in order to be impactful. And that's what this generation needs to do. They need to go to places like career days. They need to volunteer at young, women's events. All kinds of things that are out there. Musicals. Attend musicals together as a group. Let yourself be seen by all these other women. There's so many opportunities out there.
Yeah,
There
that's
is.
You know the craziest thing? We know the craziest thing? I'm sorry. No, you know what's crazy? I'm just thinking about this. You know what's crazy? That the female bodybuilder that played Miss Man on these scary movies, R.I.P. to her, right? When she passed away, everybody was sad. There was no disrespect about her. They were, people, because they enjoyed her comedic timing in that movie. So she got more offers. People, some people say that's my childhood right there. I can't believe she passed away. Oh man, oh man, oh man. You know what I'm saying? And that was good because guess what? She took the sport of female bodybuilding. She went to a genre of comedy and she introduced that sport to a different generation. So we don't, and that's 26 years ago. So you don't know who she inspired when they watched that movie, say, hey, let me hit the gym. Wow, she's funny, So that's what I'm saying. You got to keep doing that. Go into different genres, do that type of stuff, different type of medias to get the sport out there. So all I'm saying is that's what you got to do.
Yeah. We have a comment here from a man, C Cross One. He says this. Give me a second. He says, all the class is now a damn circus. He got slap fights, fencing, pole dancing, powerlifting, arm wrestling, and professional wrestling, jump rope contest. What the F? But the thing is, the thing is,
he's drawing a crowd though.
Yeah,
he's drawing a crowd.
Like a man, David, he's gonna be there.
Yep.
Here's one more from man C Cross. He says this. He says he's not a big fan of Arnold. He says Arnold's net worth is $1.2 billion. He doesn't need to make the live stream so expensive, nor have customer pay for the live stream. So why do it?
Well, he doesn't.
I didn't think the live stream was a charge.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Exactly.
So. It doesn't. And also, he says, looking forward for Miss Beefy to make her pro debut maybe this year, qualify for the Miss Olympia. I know that's too soon, and it's a wishful thinking, but that's my hope that she prevails. We wish to marry Demon. She's an amazing young lady. She's also telling me she's planning on making her compete at a pro qualifier later this summer. Also, this is from man KL the Wanderer. He says this. He says, Iris Kyle probably should have been a movie as a villain. LOL. Which movie? This is from man David. Shout out to my man David. He says this. He says, from Female Bodybuilding Forum, he says, "What's up? I think we need the ladies to do a Randy Macho Man Savage style promo."
I just mentioned that, like WWE promos, like backstage promos. That would be good for the Olympia. Like have them talk a little bit.
Yeah, I think who be doing this? It would be the Italian Sarah.
Exactly. Oh man, that'd be fire. That'd be fire.
Be like, kind of do like classic Ali. I want you. I want you. I want you.
Exactly.
The problem is the women are too nice, too courteous, or passive aggressive. Like a good example of that was with Missy Trescott and Jessica Red Padilla. How Missy called her out about the pictures and stuff like that, and 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 one thing was, Jessica didn't say anything. She didn't, jab her back.
No, Jessica. Yep, Jessica didn't say nothing.
Yeah, but you look at the other side, we have got like Nick Walker and him and Bob Ciccarello. They're a little fused. That's the thing is the women. Maybe again, I know women don't like to be called men in a way, especially their appearance. But maybe you got to take something from the men because that's what they do. They come in like guys like Keith and Dexter. Can't forget Ronnie and his rivalry with Jay Cutler. Classic like Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno. Remember Pumping Iron? We have here, shout to my man here, KL the Wanderer coming through. No, sorry, not KL. XA23, my brother. He says this. Happy Monday, George and panel. Thank you, brother. We appreciate you coming through. Also, this is from a man, C. Cross says, Female Body Forum, where we kind of got that with Sarah and Natalia, that's gotten out of control. As you know, Sarah's accusing Natalia of using certain kind of materials, and that's why she won.
Well, not very much Natalia, Sarah.
Yeah. But the thing is, women bodybuilders, you need to step up. You can't keep waiting for people like Jake to come along and save you. You can't keep handing your money to promoters like Tim Gardner, who just maybe next year not going to have you again. Like they said, you got to find the people who want to sponsor and promote women's bodybuilding. Like one thing was the Titan Grand Prix that did that. They had women's bodybuilding exclusively. The Lena Popa show that had exclusive women's bodybuilding. There's an audience, but you got to be able to present yourself to the audience. People, they can say that no one comes to see the women, no one comes to see yeah. But the thing you can never say what weird people want to come see. Some people are a fan of a particular competitor, and they know they got a show to compete. They say, "Hey, where you gonna do it? Oh, I'm gonna be at this show. Okay, I tell this and this and so and so. We'll let them know that this is where we're gonna be at." We have this one more. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Do your thing. I'll go ahead.
Okay, so again, it's from my man David. He says, do like NHL, fight on the ice and hug at the end. We had a goalie fight in the Tampa last night.
I don't think necessarily a real life Royal Rumble is what we're looking for in women's bodybuilding.
Well, I scratch my.
But not in a good way. We'll get that crowd. That crowd will all have badges.
Well, I scratch my head with the fact is that every year, they get upset when stuff like Tampa or Chicago stop doing the shows. And my thing is this: if you're not showing up, why are you going? I called on New York Pro when I saw that many those three competitors. I was like, they're not going to do it next year. Because it's like the promoters like, I'm wasting my money, and then outside like, oh let's come together, do a GoFundMe. So let's say female bodybuilding. Yeah, you say that, but you don't show up.
Right, that's true.
Like what? It's like it's like doing a mental Olympic gymnastic, or it's like, ladies, what the hell's going on? Like for real, you got to if you take this, if you say this is a sport, then you gotta show up, not three people. Not one person, not two people. You got to show up. If you don't show up and they shut it down, don't get mad saying sexist. It's not about sexism. It's about you not showing up. You remember, it's bad enough the ticket sales is not as big. If you don't show up, it gives them reason to fold. And then on top of that, you got female bodybuilding under Mr. Olympia, where Jay Cutler, I'm going there. They supporting female bodybuilding, stay afloat, just like how the NBA is supporting the WNBA. If you take both away, those two women, the sports won't survive. If you took away the men, because that's how it is. It's like you subsidize it. Because at the end of the day, you got to show that if you're talented and you got this, then you know what you got to do. You got to show up. You got to show up to the shows. You got to do all that stuff. And then when they start, and if you don't show up and they start folding, stop using, oh, it's sexism. It's sexism. It's not sexism. You're not showing up. That's what it is. If three people, like I said, I called them with the New York Pro. I said they're not going to keep the female bodybuilder because only three showed up. Why am I doing this? That's a lot of money.
Yep.
You know, so please realize it's not sexism, ladies. It's about showing up. If you don't show up, then guess what's going to happen? The sport is going to die.
Yeah,
And when
it's a
they
business.
actually do have the show, the fans have to show up too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, this, like I was talking with Eunice earlier. I mean, it's great that we are doing that. I think that's wonderful that's happening, but that's only half the battle. Now that you got the division, now you got to have people to go support the division by going to the shows or buying the webcasts and getting the tickets to show that you are willing to pay to go and see it at the show. Because it's only half the battle if the division is there and nobody shows up.
Well, the art of female muscle, you know how the crowd show up, my man. I'm gonna tell you how they show up. Again, when these ladies go, okay, when you what do when a sport event like say the Super Bowl happens, what do? They put on the radio. Everybody goes, they market like crazy. Every radio station, all the players go, right? When WrestleMania started, when WrestleMania 1 started, they promoted like crazy on radio and television so the fans should show up. So Madison Square Garden will fill up. What they have to do is they have to promote the show. That means if the Chicago Pro is happening in Chicago, guess what? Every female athlete needs to hit the podcast radio stations in Chicago. Say, yo, I want all my fans to come out. If you're a new fan, come out to the show. It's gonna be a good time, friends, family. Do what you gotta do is sell it. You gotta promote the damn thing. That's how fans show up. You gotta hit the airway. You gotta be out here being a brand ambassador and sell the shit out the show. If you don't do it, guess what's gonna happen? No fans is gonna come, but the ones that you have. That's the issue. You gotta hit the ground running. This is not just a sport; it's a business too. You gotta treat it like that.
Yeah, and here's this one thing you talk about Chicago Pro. They made an announcement earlier this week, and they are bringing on is a division that has just as few as women
Fitness.
in the sport is fitness. When
I saw that caught me by surprise, my man. I swear.
Yeah, but you know what? That is freaking entertaining. If y'all have ever seen it, you really learn to admire those fitness. They're athletes, and that's what people love to see. They love to see action on stage. These girls bring it.
They sure do, don't they?
They keep the crowd in there. They keep the crowd engaged. Whenever there's fitness, people sit down and they watch.
Yeah, I love to watch fitness.
Because think about what it takes to be in that condition. They're not just their bodies are amazingly aesthetically fit, but to be able to do what they do on stage, it blows my mind. Like, how can you be that conditioned and still be able to perform like that? Because we know how it is when you're trying to dry out that last week and you barely have carbs in your system, and yet you're out there doing all these moves. It's incredible.
Yeah,
moving like Spider-Man.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's probably one of the toughest divisions in the sport of bodybuilding because there's a lot of ladies who have had accidents. Remember, once that long ago, Missy Trescott, she busted her knee doing a routine. I've seen some women who fell and had injuries, and their numbers are about as low as women's bodybuilding, but still, they're still at the Arnold. And even though Arnold pushed out physique, pushed out figure, and pushed out women's bodybuilding, that division is still there. And also, the big issue is always that in the new division, fit model. That's the thing is, it's now they have numbers. And the promoters will think about, let's put out the show that doesn't have the numbers. Fit model is going to probably have maybe twice competitors compared to bikini, because it's a very, how's the best way? So I'm not going to be nice. A big division because it's because those women don't have to put on the size and muscle like physique and figure or even women's bodybuilding. They don't.
37 shows this year.
Well, it's very attainable. Their physiques are very attainable. It's a little, just a little bit above the general population and the average. So it's very attainable, and it's, it's a draw.
Because it's a throwback to what bikini was. And when you look at bikini now, the women are getting as conditioned, as shaped, as built. They're getting as big as close to when figure first started coming out. Or even some bikini competitors that look like the early female bodybuilders from the 80s. You know, just it's a thing is that promotion is important. Like Raheem said, that some of these ladies, when you go to a show, go really put yourself out there. That's the problem. I think some are too afraid to put themselves out there. They feel like, you know, you're like, this is where, you know, as men, and this is something you may understand, as a man, we go out there to approach you women, and there's a chance we're going to get rejected. We can take rejection. You know, we don't like it, but we can take it. But women, sometimes you don't like it too much. I remember this, I was watching.
You just have to embrace being different. And that's what, you know.
That's right.
You have to embrace being different and being, you know, just that you are who you are, and that you wear the muscle because you love it, regardless of what people think, what people say. I mean, you're never going to please 100%, and you're never going to please anybody. I mean, like, why even try pleasing? For me, it's always been, this is what I've always wanted to do. You know, when men say, well, you know, I wouldn't want a woman like you. Well, I wouldn't want a man like you either. You know, I wouldn't talk to your woman. You know, I wouldn't want to be your woman. You know, so you know, it's
get them units.
You've got to be who you are, and that's what these girls need to, you know, like, who cares what people say? We're different, we're built different, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and that thing is, every woman is different. No one's going to be what you consider standard of what a woman is. Every woman's going to be different, size, shape. You know, some guys like fat girls, some guys like skinny women, some guys like women who are tall, some guys like women who are short. And again, women, you have to be open to different people. And again, also, one thing I point out is there's a lot of these sites, and as I call them, the beat the meat websites. You know who you are. You're making money off these women on, you know, with posting videos, pictures, content. So we want you to step up a little more. If you can put up the sanction fees and prize money for some of these shows, because, you know, live competitors, if they'll have a show to do, what they're going to do afterwards? Because you wait for your show, ladies. Like, you know, I know Dave was working with a guy because, you know, he was there at Tampa. He was taking them around, and he was setting up photo sessions and video sessions with some of the ladies. You know, that was pretty good because that's the way they make their money. They make their money off these women's bodies and their image because they're selling to a certain demographic that is, as you know, as the smokes, as us. But you making all this money off these men and women too, you can put it back into the sport. If you, like, some of these ladies work for some of these companies and do photos, say, hey, I would say to you ladies, go talk to them. Like, one particular site is Her Biceps Camp. They make money off of plenty of women who are in the sport, be amateur, being pro. Some women just even don't compete, but they still work out and train. You make money off these women and you don't really give it back into the sport they compete in. You can pick up.
Well, you want to kind of be careful about using them as a sponsor, because what is the demographic that you want to reach? Do you want to reach just adults? Do you want to reach family and children and everything? Because if you do that, then because, you know, people are savvy on internet, they say, oh, this person is sponsoring this female bodybuilding show, and they found out they done, like you said, the Beat the Meat site. Now suddenly people be like, is this should I take my kids to this since it's being sponsored by the Beat the Meat site? See, this is where you got to pull into question. See, you gotta be careful. You gotta be like, well, who should, you know, maybe I should get some sponsors who don't have that type of thing or have that type of connection, because, you know, people do a lot of research out here, especially on who sponsors these shows. So you want to kind of be careful about those sites sponsoring shows and everything like that. I'm just throwing it out there. That's all.
Well, here's the thing is, OnlyFans sponsors several fighters and boxing promotions. They, you know what? They put money to that. And a lot of people bring their families, and a lot of people watch fights together. Even kids watch fights.
Well, do OnlyFans, but like, do you see it when you go to a boxing event? Do you see the OnlyFans logos there say sponsored by OnlyFans? You see Budweiser, you see Budweiser and everything, but do you see like OnlyFans? What I'm saying is you have seen it. Okay, cool. Now, have anybody birthday? I'm not knocking them, I'm just saying, but do they bring their children every day? Because you want to kind of be careful, like having certain sponsors who have that type of history. That's what I'm saying. If you're reaching out to a whole demographic like adults and children, you don't want to have, oh, this female bodybuilding is sponsored by beatthemeat.com. You know what I'm saying? Or OnlyFans. You really don't want to do that, especially if you want to get your brand out there into the public. That's what I'm just saying.
I remember a few years ago, actually, this was the truth. When she used to own Muscle Girls Live, Melly Specco actually donated some money to I think it was Best Poser, Most Muscular, and that's one thing to do. Like Eunice did when they donated money for the Best Poser at the Tampa.
We're going to be giving away the Most Ripped award this year. Rap.
Oh, nice.
The Ripped and Pumped.
That's
And
great.
Okay.
the most muscular in some. I've actually come up with some Best Back Award, Best Bicep Award.
Okay, look at you.
Yeah. And thing is, you'll have to be directly that person. A lot of these companies have subsidiaries. The companies that own that company, but they're not exactly that company per se. A lot of companies have that second hand company say, hey, we're the main company, and we'll represent, so you don't have to worry about the whole issue of dealing with adults or how this person, and many of these promoters know who they are, but they'll say it's business end.
Listen, George, all I have to say is, listen, they have someone in their corner. She did a show a couple of years back. I still say reach out to Danny. You never know. Maybe $7 Studio could promote a female bodybuilding show. You never know, because at the end of the day, if you're saying that that Jake and all of them is not doing what they have to do, then hey, maybe $7 could swoop in, say, we got the XFL in this sport. Let's just tap into female bodybuilding and see what we can do with it. You never know.
Yeah, this thing is.
But you gotta reach out, and the craziest thing is, Danny's on all social media platforms. All you have to do, it could be you, it could be Eunice, DM her. Hey, you know what? Would you like to focus on support female bodybuilding? Remember, she did a show. You never know.
Yeah,
you might pique her interest.
I remember a lady who competed at she did her debut Arizona, and that was back in I think 2018. And she still worked with her ex-husband, The Rock. Rock wanted to get into bodybuilding, but there was some stuff that there was a problem with it because he wanted to do his own show, and he felt that show would be competitive with the Olympia or the Honor Classic. And the thing is, bodybuilding is an old guard. You have the Mannion family, and they're a business family, but still they don't want to get outshined. You bring somebody like Rock.
But let me ask you a question. Let me ask you, Eunice, a question. What is the Dominion family doing with female bodybuilding as a sport? If they folded it up, shouldn't they say, hey, let's reach out to someone that may be interested in like Dwayne Johnson or Danny Garcia? Maybe they could support it. Like maybe that'd be a good opportunity. Just reach out to them, see what they're taking on it. Because again, his ex-wife did a show. She enjoyed herself. You never know. You got you can go back to the table, see what she says. You gotta try.
You gotta try. Worst case scenario on anything is you get the answer no, right? What do you got to lose? But
does no kills you? Does no kills you?
Just makes you stronger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And still, there's people out there who are fans of the division or fans of sport. You got to reach out to them. You have to sell it to them like any businessman. And if it sounds like they can, we can make something off of it, or we can really promote. But again, we need a certain people to step up and be the front people, like people like Andrea, people like Teresa Vasic, people like Chelsea Dion, or
Sherry Priami.
Sherry Priami. Sherry, she's going to make her return. She says she compete this year, and all the others stop going and say, let me wait till mid of the year. When you have so few shows, jump on the go ahead, do the triple O, get it out of the way. Go ahead, do Vancouver, because when Vancouver only had 5 women, one point. Do the shows where that we can make a difference, and also reach out to promoters. Again, don't have to always go to Steve Weinberger. Don't have to go always to Tim Gardner. Linda Murray. There's Austin Carr. If you can get Corey back onto it, because like I said, it's still early. Hey, go to Corey and say, hey, Corey, we love the Vancouver Pro show. and we want to bring it back. We have the money to cover what you need to take care of, and just reach out. This is gonna take. You're gonna have. It's gonna take some time. Anything you want having, you got to work at it. It's not gonna be easy, but once you get it, you'll be proud of what you have accomplished. You just have to be willing to put into work.
It takes time and patience, but that'll pay off.
The best way, like, okay, for the females, here's a good podcast go to. Call Me Daddy. Go to that's a good podcast to go on. Promote there, or go to Kai Cenat. He's a big YouTuber guy. Go on his website or his YouTube. There's so many YouTube and podcasts they can go on for free and just do it and just promote the sport.
Go on Lean Beef Patty's stream thing. She's a pretty big name.
Who's that? Who Lean Beef Patty?
She's a fitness influencer.
Okay, but you want to try. What I'm saying is try not to go to anything that's fitness. Go to stuff that's not fitness. Go to stuff where you can go, and get new people.
Okay, gotcha.
Like I said, Kai Cenat is more of a, Kai Cenat is a gamer, right? Go there. Chelsea Dia, I think that she's probably a millennial. Go on there. Get and say, hey, I'm a female bodybuilder, this is what I do, that. Go on these podcast shows. And let me explain something to you. Let me tell these female bodybuilders too, because I've done, a little radio. You could go on and you could say, these are the things we could talk about. These are things we cannot talk about. And they will respect that. Okay? You can say stuff like that. If certain people say no, then fine. But there are going to be some podcasts that will gratiate you and say, okay, cool, we'll talk about this, we won't talk about that, and not everybody out there will call you a man and all this stuff. They understand that this is the sport that you chose, this is what you chose as a sport. Cool. They're gonna ask questions like, how is this a sport? Because remember, they don't know everything. Just say, hey, this is what bodybuilding is, X, Y, and Z, You know what I'm saying? And introduce a new fan base to the sport, and then that's it. Because remember, everybody know they seen, not every day, but they seen female bodybuilders, they seen male bodybuilders, but they have to be reintroduced. Society have to be reintroduced to it. Because remember, the 80s and 90s, early 2000s, it was about the fitness craze. You just gotta reintroduce that back. That's all you have to do. So it's not hard. I mean, if all of them have a social media account like Instagram, all that stuff, then hey, let me go on the podcast. Let me get here, because what is it? The Arnold's the next show up. Okay, listen, even though female bodybuilding is not going to be at the Arnold, but I'm going to be at the expo. So if you guys are in Ohio, this is where I'm going to be at. Next thing you know, that person will have a longer line, because guess what? She went on all the podcast shows, all the ones in Ohio, months before the Arnold, and said this is where she's going to be at. And then all her fans or new fans will show up at her booth. It's about promotion. It's about learning to promote yourself and everything. That's what it is. It's not hard, but it's not easy, but you could do it. And then on top of that, you got to get some athletes who are not shy to be in front of a camera and who's willing to take the sport and promote it. If there's certain bodybuilders that are shy, then you don't use them. You say, okay, we ain't gonna use you for PR. This one, that one. We could do that. Even if she's not Miss Olympia, but guess what? She got great personality, she got great charisma, and she's going to all these podcast shows, radio shows, promote the sport. So that's good enough. That's it. Yeah. You don't need every female bodybuilder to do that. You just need one or two, maybe. That's it.
Or like I say,
exactly.
Like you can go like Charlamagne the God. There's also Steve Harvey. He has his, because he remember a few years ago he had on his talk show he had Lindsay Molinazzi, who I interviewed a while back. We talked about that when she was on there. There's quite a few. Some you just got to be willing to put yourself out there. We have here a guest. We have here Jeff come through. Hey Jeff.
What's up, guys? Raheem, I agree with what you just have to say. I agree with what you have to say.
All right, appreciate that, Jeff. But yeah, that's the thing is that, ladies, you got to be willing and wanting to put yourself out there. You can't be saying, "Well, we're not going to have a show this year." Well, what are you doing? If you're not going to come on my show and talk about it, well, talk about it with somebody else. You don't have to be Female Bodybuilding Channel. It doesn't have to be me or David. It can be anybody who has a platform that gets attention for you.
Even me. I'm I'm actually on Spotify. I'm actually on Spotify with my own podcast, Joe Scooby. I'm actually talking about like people that inspire me. Scooby. Joe Scooby. People. It's just Scooby. People that inspire me, like KL. Like my buddy KL inspired me to be out in the snow in North Carolina today, which I was actually shoveling so he could get me some guns.
Yeah, because he's in my same home state, North Carolina. We had a lot of snow, and I think some places
I
dropped
cannot hear
about.
George.
Well, hello, can you hear me? Y'all can hear me?
Yep. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Well, we had like places where we had like 16 inches to 15 inches worth of snow. So folks,
wow.
we're not gonna be. That's it. We don't really get it like that bad right now. Most is already about halfway melted. So so folks, we got here. We got somebody who dropped a comment here. Says yes. I can't hear you, George. I don't know what's going on, Jeff. It might be something on your end. If you can't hear me, I'm sorry. We have here some comments here because we were talking so much. Let me see all the comments. I think we have here. This is from my man David. I gotta give him a shout out. He's busy. I wish he'd come on. He says, I like when Jesse James West visited the Olympia 2024 and spoke with several of the ladies. He was quite a big following. Yeah, because I know he hanged out with your girlfriend. Hunter Henderson.
Susan Wild Factor Rapids. Yeah, and Hunter Henderson nodding, and I remember that.
Also, we have here from man Raheem. He says, those girls nowadays are too lazy to do promoting. There's a few like Rania Thomason. Yeah, Rania is pretty popular.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to my man here, KL the Wonder. He says, "This George, you got a co-host for your interviews with my man Jeff. Well, I don't have co-hosts when I do my interviews. I do mine solo." And also, we got here from my man here. Shout out to my man. KL says, Raheem is like a radio station playing the same songs. LOL. Also, he says this. He says, the bodybuilding Melissa, I forgot her last name, but over the summer she was in the whatever podcast. Oh, that was Melissa, I think, Brodsky. And I heard that she might have retired. Some stuff with issues like that. And here we have this is from my man. Shout out to my man here, C. Cross. He says the difference between the women's bodybuilding back in the early 80s is that they posed and did mandatories. The fit model is basically stick their butt out to the judges and walk back and forth. That's like bikini. Also, we got comment. This is wait a minute. We got these guys here. This is from a man, Raheem. He's just saying, wait a second. My computer's scanning for it. He says, plus, why do y'all keep whining about the girls not promoting them when they don't care either to doing it themselves? It's like beating a dead horse. Well, the thing is, why not? This is my content, and I'm
why not?
About them get promotion. Like when I promote and talk about Eunice and Bad Rap. We got here Jeff back here again.
I'm sorry, it's me. I want to comment about Jesse James West. He's an interesting YouTuber, as David mentioned. He had an interesting video about Joshua maybe seen this, like, who is stronger, guys and gals, which made me want to think to myself, like, he's like a Mr. Beast. But with Mr. Beast, I don't know why I just suggested James West, because he has some interesting videos. Like, to me, something like maybe him, or there's other bodybuilders I can think of off the top of my head. Now maybe inspire somebody like me to be able to become like the next YouTuber, which Jesse James West is technically. I don't know. Is he kind of like a bodybuilder expert, Jesse James West, or what does he do?
Well,
I don't know that dude.
He works out and trains. I know a while back he did a thing like the regular guys versus female bodybuilders. They had Michelle Denoinen. I think they had Jennifer. What's the face? I forgot her name. She's a pro.
They had Mighty She-Hulk on there, and who else?
Lean beef.
Chelsea was on it too. I remember watching.
Oh yeah, she was.
And and Lean Beef Patty was on there. She's always on the videos.
Which Patty? Patty Hansen?
Lean Beef Patty. I don't know what she looks like. It's like a younger dude, younger girl.
Oh, fitness influencer. Yeah.
Yeah, there's like a lot of these people out there. So it's interesting. It's interesting that that I will be going to my first store in North Carolina. Actually, I was going to my store in Greensboro, North Carolina. I've never experienced a bodybuilding show before, but it's going to be a good opportunity for me to get my word out and tell them. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be like I'm talking about this so I can talk about this cool podcast that George and KL and Joshua have, and no matter it's just gonna be no matter who they are. I'm definitely gonna tell them to please like and subscribe on your YouTube channel. Like I've been subscribing a lot of people in Instagram. That's the best way to spread the word, Joshua.
Well, thank you, brother.
Right.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you. We have here from a man here, C. Cross. He says this. He says, Hunter is whose girl on this panel? I don't, not my girl. She's somebody's girl.
My girl.
Yeah, somebody's girl. Oh, that's your girl. That's your crush. Okay.
Oh, your girl.
Okay. Don't be ashamed, man. You got a crush on. Okay.
Hey, I'm single.
I got to tell you something. My man Alex, that's his girl too. I mean, you gotta fight it out for her. I mean,
Yeah, y'all two gotta do get out.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. You know who you need to stay away from. You know who you need to stay away from.
Shoot, here we go.
Yes, because
here we go.
I like you, Jeff. I don't want no problems. So if you see her, you shake her hand. You don't do no more than that. Okay, you shake her hand. You say thank you, Miss Shaw, and just move on. You know who you know who a man is. Me.
Yes.
Shout out to our man. Shout out to our man C. Cross. He says this snow has been a pain. Yeah, anyway, yet Cross. Like I said, we're not used to having here in down south. So, folks, we're not gonna hold you much longer. Again, lady and gentlemen, if you are interested in also donating to Anastasia's GoFundMe, you can go to Anastasia's IG. You can follow the link. You can click send donations, and also reach out to these ladies. If you are guys out there, I see it because you are guys out there who has the means and the way to maybe promote, to sponsor athletes, to promote a show. If you are a fan of a particular division that you say, you know what, I'm not seeing enough bodies, not enough ladies, step up. Here, my man David saying this says, I said, George missed this one, so I sent it again. He. Ha 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 ha. Whatever. Mm-hmm. And also he says this, my man David says, her biceps cam makes a ton of money. I think they should give back for Beat the Meat sites. You gotta show Rocky in the, he says like this, in the meat locker. It's just saying. He's talking about, you remember?
Wow, dude.
You remember in Rocky?
Yeah, meat locker.
Yeah, he's like, But folks, you have, ladies and gentlemen, you have anything to say before I let y'all go?
Well, I gotta say this. Please keep Women's Bodybuilding alive. Donate to that GoFundMe that Anastasia Ryder made, and so we can get the Chicago Pro back. They are bring back Tampa Pro.
Well, Tampa has Women's Bodybuilding back, but Chicago, I think it's
that's what I said.
It's a done deal. I think we should just let Chicago go. Maybe go talk to them, because Natalia's going to have Women's Bodybuilding at this upcoming show.
Oh yeah, in Brazil.
But also you can talk to the promoter that ran the Titan, and maybe get somebody back him and bring that back, because I think they had a quick exchange to get back. Tampa had to lose Titan.
Hey, I'm going to have to get going, but I just wanted to let you know that there's a chat a group of a chat group that has been happening with all of the professional women bodybuilders who are actively competing. And I was invited to be on that chat group. And so what I'd like to say is that these ladies are being very proactive. They're bringing up a lot of ideas. I have a lot of faith in them because I am seeing a motivation and I am seeing a fight in this young generation. So, you know, they're going to come together. They're collaborating. They're going to fight for their division. And I'm eager to see the change and the empowerment in each one of these competitors. So it's just going to take some. This season is really going to bring something out in them. They're gonna. Right now, they're trying to do to be, you know, to strategize through showing up on stage. They're doing a great job communicating with each other, and this is what it's going to have to take. It's going to take collaboration, ideas. Believe me, the ideas they're tossing are amazing. And so I have a lot of faith that they're going to save this division. And we're going to see a different season next year.
Yeah. Sometimes you can whip a mule till he just gives up. But then if that mule comes back and keep on plowing, that's a good mule. You know, that's something I learned from like my granddaddy, my uncle's you know, but that's the thing, ladies. You got to put the time. You got to put in the work. You got to be able to want more for yourself, and not like again. I shouldn't be doing this. Why? I shouldn't care. But again, I'm a fan, and I want to see y'all succeed. Again, I keep saying
exactly.
Women's bodybuilding is the architect division. Wasn't for that division, the others wouldn't exist as much, and we owe them that. You know, they need to be. If not going to be the Arnold. You know, not going to be New York, but create your own shows.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Yeah. I appreciate it.
See you later.
Thank you, my sister Eunice. Go to check the Bad Rap. Buy the product. The more you buy, the more she invests into the sport. Reach out to her. If you are someone who wants to
shout out to Bad Rap.
Women bodybuilding, reach out to my dear friend, my sister Eunice, and her partner JoJo. They are really putting some work. So, anyway, folks, I appreciate the people that came through. Like, see Cross for coming through, Jeff that came through, Raheem Hamilton. David, who was in the live streams, also my brother Execution 23, my man KL the Wanderer, who was there. You know, all you who are fans of particularly of this division, women's bodybuilding, do this also. I'm planning on going to a show, but the thing is, it does cost money for me to travel because I live on a budget. Just got my check, had to pay my cable bill, my light bill, and my rent. And I'm about broke, but I'm saving some money to the side. And also, if you follow hit my links to see. I have a PayPal, I have a Venmo, and I have a Cash App. If you want to donate to me so I can go to more shows or even help sponsorship like I'm doing for Eunice and Bad Rap, helping sponsor the Triple O Dynasty, you know, it's just a little drop of bucket, but you know what? It's that little drop of bucket that means a lot because you know what? I'm a fan and this is my bread and butter. This is my content I talk about, and I want to see it succeed and see it thrive, not just keep getting pushed out of shows, getting pushed out of arenas, getting less and less opportunities for women who get their pro cards who want to go up. And again, to your competitors out there who are in a certain division, women's physique, who look more like women's bodybuilding, move up. The more of y'all, the more numbers we have, the more
I saw that comment, man.
It's more
but anyway.
numbers. All right. So, done?
Yeah, do whatever you can. Donate to the GoFundMe, buy the live stream. It helps out.
Yeah. Yeah, and also reach out to promoters that really want to give you ladies opportunity, like Austin Carr, Linda Murray. If you can go talk to Corey, who ran the Vancouver Isle show, maybe you can bring back women's bodybuilding, physique, and wellness back, and we get somebody who can sponsor those divisions. And even Lena Popa, even though her shows are overseas, still there's so few opportunities for women for overseas because you know it's hard to come over here, especially with things that are going right now. You know, no one really want to come to America like they used to. So anyway, folks, again, I'd like to thank my sister Eunice for coming through. Shout out to my man, Jeremy Arter of the Art of Female Muscle. Shout out to Raheem Hamilton. Shout out to Jeff. Shout out to the guests that were in the live stream, who comments, who subscribe, follow my channel. Follow my man Josh. Josh, where you are at?
Thank you for having me, sir. It's always great to be on here.
And they want to know where you at, Josh.
Oh, follow my Instagram. Women's Bodybuilding Empire and join the Empire Nation. Let's go.
And let's get Josh on YouTube too. He needs to do some stuff too. Yeah,
I know. I need to start doing like interviews or something. I'm thinking about it. But anyway, it was great having me on.
Yeah, especially reach out a few ladies that really want to talk to their story.
Yeah.
All right. So, folks, I hope you enjoy your day. Groundhog Day don't mean shit to me. It's just another day. You pull out a rat from a hole, it doesn't mean nothing. It's going to be winter for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So, right now snow is coming down. I might go out later once it's a little bit thinner out there. Me, like I said again, I don't like driving that mess. It's about as worse as ice. So, folks, I'd like to thank my guests again. I appreciate for your time. Thank you for your support of my channel and my content. Support these women of bodybuilding. Support women of female bodybuilding in general. Reach out in genuine interest. This is Man Always George.
Just make some noise.
Yeah. This is Man Always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I am out. Good night. Good luck. God bless, and see you next time.